of me. Shiny words try to lead me on, but I feel something quietly wrong. Even if it takes more time, even if I walk the harder line, step by step I'm growing strong. Every step is where I belong. In a world that shakes my ground, I won't let my heart back down. Holding on to a spark of light, I'll keep moving through the night. It's okay if I can see, I will trust what's guiding me. There's a strength I can't deny, leading me beyond the light. If I fall, I rise again, walk the truth until the end. Hidden answers always start from an honest, fearless heart. Some chase speed, some chase the prize, some just follow blinded eyes. But I've learned along the way, meaning lives in every day. It's okay to pause and breathe, turn around if I need. Every moment, every scar shapes the person that we are. Even if no one can see, even if it's just me, what matters most is deep inside, the voice I choose to trust and guide. Though the road may seem unclear, something tells me not to fear. A heart that refuses to break is the strongest path to take. It's okay if I can see, I will trust what's guiding me. There's a quiet, steady flame calling out my hidden name. In a world that pulls apart, I will follow truth and heart. Through the dark I'll find my way, step by step, day by day. In every choice, in every step, there's a path I won't forget. Through unseen help I rise above, walking forward, built on love. A quiet road, a steady light, leading me beyond the night. Yeah. I've seen the roads that glitter bright, covered in promises, shining light. But underneath there's something thin, a fragile truth that won't hold within. So I slow down, I breathe again, step away from the crowded trend. In the silence I start to hear a voice that's been there through every year. Even when I feel unsure, even when the cure's obscure, there's a steady hand I can't deny, lifting me when hope runs dry. When confusion fills the air and no one seems to really care, I hold on to what is real, to what I know, to what I feel. I don't need to see it all, I will rise when I fall. There's a strength that leads me on, even when the light is gone. Through the noise I find the sound of a truth that's always been around. Not in crowds, not in fame, but in a quiet, steady flame. Some will run, is. What if the answer isn't loud? What if it's not in the crowd? What if truth is something deep, something only hearts can keep? What if every twist and turn is a place for me to learn? Not a loss, not a fall, but a hidden rise through it all. I remember nights alone, feeling lost, unknown, undone. But those nights became the fire that reshaped my true desire. Now I see through clearer eyes, not the surface but the wise. There's a reason I still stand, even when I didn't plan. I don't need to see it all. There's a meaning in the call. Every step, both weak and strong, has been leading me along. Even pain can shape the way, even dark can bring the day. There's a truth that never bends, through beginnings and through ends. If I fall 1,000 times, I will rise beyond the lines. Not by power, not by might, but by choosing what is right. In the stillness I discover there's a strength like no other. Not in rushing, not in fear, but in knowing something's near. Unseen help, a quiet guide, walking always by my side. Not demanding, never loud, but it lifts me from the crowd. I don't need to see it all. I will answer to the call. Through the storm I'll stand my ground, in the truth that I have found. Every doubt, every scar has revealed just who we are. Not defeated, not alone, stronger than we've ever known. So when the night returns again, and the road feels lost in pain, I will trust the path unseen, and the strength that grows within. Step by step I'll make it through, with a heart that stays true. In the silence I will find the guiding light within my mind. I've seen the roads that glitter bright, covered in promises, shining light. But underneath there's something thin, a fragile truth that won't hold within. So I slow down, I breathe again, step away from the crowded trend. In the silence I start to hear a voice that's been there through every year. Even when I feel unsure, even when the cure's obscure. Note 3. When everything is loud and rushing past, and every moment feels too fast, there's a question rising deep inside. Is this the truth or just the tide? So many voices pulling me, telling me who I should be, but in the chaos I can feel a quieter way, something real.
I've walked through days I couldn't see, where doubt kept chasing after me, where every choice felt like a war, and I wasn't sure what for.
The easy road was always near, filled with comfort, free of fear. But something wouldn't let me stay. It pulled my heart a different way. I couldn't explain it then, why I turned away again from what looked right in every way, but felt so empty in the end. There were nights I almost fell, caught between the truth and well, all the things that shine and glow but leave you hollow down below.
I questioned every step I made, every risk, every delay, wondering if I was wrong for choosing slow instead of strong.
But deep within, a steady flame kept calling out my name, not in words, not in sound, but something I could feel profound.
I started walking step by step,
with nothing certain, nothing set,
no clear map to guide my way,
just a feeling I couldn't betray.
and though the road was hard and long,
it slowly made my spirit strong. Every tear I couldn't hide
turned into a strength inside.
Some will laugh and some will doubt, some will try to pull you out from the path you're meant to take, just because it starts to shake. But they don't feel what you feel, they don't know what's truly real. There's a reason deep inside why you chose a different side. So don't rush just to belong, don't trade truth to go along. What is right is often slow, but it's the only way to grow.
I remember standing still
On the edge of fear and will,
every option laid ahead.
every possible path I could tread.
One was easy, safe and wide,
One was narrow, undefined.
and though I feared what I might lose, I knew which one I had to choose.
Not because it promised gain, not because it avoided pain, but because it felt so true. Even without a perfect view, there's a strength in choosing right. Even when you lose the fight, there's a power in staying true. When the world turns against you, it's not about the fastest win or proving something just to them. It's about the soul you keep and the promises you don't break deep.
What if the struggle is the key?
Who you're really meant to be
What if every fall you
is
face?
shaping you with hidden grace,
What if the unseen guiding hand
is leading you to where you stand,
stronger, wiser than before?
ready for something even more? So when the road is hard to see and doubt becomes your company, remember what you felt that day when truth first showed you the way. It wasn't loud, it wasn't bright, it didn't need to win a fight. It simply stood so calm, so clear, calling you to persevere. Even now it's calm and still, beyond the noise, beyond the will, beyond the fear of standing alone, beyond the need to be well known. There's a path that won't betray, no matter what the world may say. And though it asks for everything, it gives you something everlasting.
So walk it even if it's slow,
Even if no one will know,
even if the night is long,
and you don't feel very strong, because the truth will always stand like a rock, like solid land. And those who follow what is right will find their way beyond the night. In the end, when all is gone,
when the race is said and done,
it won't be speed that defines your name,
or how you played the fleeting game.
it will be the path you chose when no one saw, when no one knows. It will be the truth you kept and every promise that you never left. So take the step, don't be afraid. Even if the price is paid, there's a strength you can't yet see, waiting in your honesty. And one day you'll finally know why you had to walk it slow, because the road that once seemed far was shaping exactly who you are. Yeah.
No for. There was a moment I almost turned back to the place where the bridges burned, where everything felt safe and known. But something said, you've outgrown. The road ahead was dark and wide, no map, no proof, no place to hide. Just a quiet pull I couldn't fight, leading me deeper into the night. I try to follow the louder way, the shining path that people say, race to success, too fast to gain. But every step just felt like strain. A crowded road with borrowed dreams, perfect faces, curated scenes. But underneath the polished glow, I felt a truth I couldn't show. So I stepped back, I let it go. Even when I moved too slow, even when it made no sense, I trusted something deep and intense. There were days I felt alone, like I was building on my own. No applause, no guiding hand, just silent steps across unknown land. And in that silence something grew, a strength I never really knew. Not from winning, not from speed, but from choosing what I need. I learned that not all doors are right, even if they shine so bright. Not every chance is meant for me, not every path will set me free. Sometimes no is where you rise, sometimes truth wears no disguise. Sometimes walking far away is the bravest choice you'll make. There were voices in my head, filling me with doubt and dread. Turn around, you've gone too far, you won't make it where you are. But deeper still beneath the fear was something steady, always near. Not demanding, never loud, but stronger than the biggest crowd. So I held on, though I shook. Every risk, every step I took was shaping something I can't explain. A quiet power born from pain. I remember nights so still, fighting battles of the will, where giving up felt easier than holding on through every blur. But every time I chose to stay, through the dark, through the gray, I felt a shift, a subtle change, like something breaking out of chain. What if the path you're scared to take is the one that makes you awake? What if the struggle you resist is the one you shouldn't miss? What if the silence you avoid is where your truth can be employed? Not in noise, not in race, but in a slow and steady pace. I've seen people lose their way, chasing dreams that fade to gray, trading truth for empty gain, smiling through a hidden pain. And I knew I couldn't live with a heart that had to give up the part that felt so real, just to fit what others feel. So I chose the harder line, not for glory, not for shine, but because it felt so clear, even through the doubt and fear. There's a fire that doesn't fade, even when you're not displayed, even when the world looks past, even when you're built to last. It lives in choices no one sees, in quiet acts and honesty. And every time you stood your ground when no reward could be found, and slowly something starts to change. What once felt lost now feels arranged. What once was fear becomes a guide. What once was weak now stands with pride. You start to see with different eyes, through the truth beyond disguise, that every step you almost quit was shaping you piece by bit. So if you're standing at that place where fear and courage interlace, where every option feels unsure and nothing feels completely pure, listen close, not to the noise, not to pressure, not to voice, but to that feeling deep inside that never leaves, that doesn't hide. It won't shout, it won't demand, it won't force you to understand, but it will stay and it will wait until you choose to walk in faith. And when you do, though slow it seems, though nothing's bursting at the seams, you'll feel a peace you can't explain, a quiet strength within the pain. Because the road that's truly right doesn't always come with light. It builds you first, it shapes your core before it opens any door. And when that door begins to rise, you'll see it through different eyes, not as luck, not as chance, but as the result of your stance. So take the step, though it's unclear, though it's filled with doubt and fear, though no one claps, no one sees, and nothing comes with guarantees. Because the path that stands the test is the one that asks your best, not your speed, not your fame, but your truth without a name. And one day when you look behind at every place you left confined, you'll understand why it was so you had to walk
to overcome, not to wander endlessly, but to find who you're meant to be.
There was a time I couldn't tell if I was rising or I fell. Every step felt out of place, like I was running without a race. The world kept spinning loud and fast, holding tight to what won't last. And in between the noise and speed, I lost the sense of what I need.
I try to follow what they said, stay ahead, don't fall behind instead. But every road I didn't choose started showing what I'd lose. Not in things that fade away, but in truth I couldn't betray, in quiet thoughts I couldn't shake, in choices only I could make.
So I stopped and stood alone
on unfamiliar stepping stones. No applause to guide my way, just a feeling I must obey.
There's a space between the lines where the deeper meaning shines, not in what the world displays, but in unseen, enduring ways.
And in that space I felt a shift, like something fragile turned to gift. Not because the path was clear, but because I stayed sincere.
I began to understand, not everything is in my hands, but what I choose and who I am is where my true direction stands.
Even when the road is long, even when it feels all wrong, there's a quiet constant thread pulling me where I'm meant to head.
Some will chase what disappears,
Trading peace for empty cheers,
some will build on shifting sand,
never questioning where they stand.
but I've seen what that becomes, a hollow beat, a silent drum, a life that looks complete outside but breaks apart deep down inside.
So I turn another way,
even if it means delay,
even if I walk alone
on a path that's still unknown.
There were nights I almost gave everything I tried to save, all the hope, all the fight, fading slowly in the night.
But something deeper wouldn't fade, through every doubt, through every shade, a steady pulse, a silent guide that never once stepped aside.
It didn't promise easy wins or freedom from the storms within. It didn't say I wouldn't fall,
It just said,
keep walking through it all.
and so I did, the weak at times,
Through the questions, through the climb,
through the moments I couldn't see.
what this road would make of me.
What if strength is built in strain?
What if clarity needs pain?
What if every broken piece
is shaping something meant for peace? What if losing what you knew is the only way to view a wider truth, a deeper light, hidden far beyond your sight?
I started seeing things unfold,
Not in silver, not in gold,
but in moments small and true,
in the way I chose to move,
in the times I didn't bend,
just to follow, just to blend,
in the quiet strength I kept,
through every promise I still held.
and slowly, without a sound,
I felt my feet touch solid ground,
not because the storm had passed,
but because my roots held fast.
I wasn't searching like before
For something outside, something more.
I found it in the way I stand, in what I build with my own hands.
So if you're lost between the lines, and nothing clearly seems defined, if every answer feels too far, and you don't know just where you are, don't rush to fill the empty space. Don't chase another borrowed place. There's meaning in the waiting too.
when you feel like giving in,
like you don't have strength within.
remember every step you've made.
Even through the darkest shade,
You are stronger than you see.
more than what you used to be.
Every scar
Every fight
has been
shaping your true life.
So take your time, don't be afraid. Even if the path won't wait, even if the world moves on,
You're exactly where you belong.
because the road that leads you true
Isn't rushed, it's built in you.
step by step,
Day by day, in the most unseen way.
and one day you will look back
At every twist along the track,
and see it wasn't loss or delay,
but the only possible way to become, to rise, to stand, to finally understand
that everything you walked alone
was leading you back to your home. Yeah. There's a place between the noise and breath, where silence feels like life or death, where every choice cuts deep and wide, and nowhere's left for you to hide. The world keeps shouting, pick a side, win it all or step aside, but something deeper won't agree. It asks for truth, not victory.
I walked through days I couldn't name, where nothing felt the same, where every mirror showed a face still searching for its rightful place. I tried to hold what slipped away, tried to force what wouldn't stay, but every time I clenched too tight, I lost more ground, I lost the light.
So I released what I controlled, let go of what I thought I'd hold, and in that fall so unexplained, I found a strength I never gained.
There's a break-in before the build, a space where everything is stilled, where who you were begins to fade, to make room for what's being made. It's not a loss, it's not the end, it's where the real and false won't blend. A line is drawn you cannot fake, a choice only you can make.
I started listening without sound to something real, something unbound, not shaped by fear, not bent by crowd, not needing proof, not seeking loud. And though it led through shadowed ground, there was a peace I somehow found, not in knowing where I'd be, but in knowing what guides me.
Some will trade their inner voice for safety, comfort, easy choice. Some will follow what is known, afraid to stand, afraid alone. But there's a cost they cannot see in losing quiet clarity, in drifting far from what is true, just to be someone they view.
I've stood at edges close to breaking, felt the weight of every taking, every doubt, every fear, every whisper drawing near, telling me to turn around, to stay within familiar ground. But deeper still, a steady flame kept calling me beyond the same.
It didn't promise ease or rest, it didn't say I'd be the best. It only showed a simple way to live with truth, day by day. And so I chose again, through loss, through fire, through the end, to walk a road I couldn't prove, but somehow knew I had to move. What if becoming feels like
Loss,
what if strength is
shaped by cause?
What if the road that feels unclear is the one that brought you here?
What if every piece undone is part of something
I began to see the change, not in ways that felt so strange, but in the calm I couldn't fake, in the choices I would make when no one watched, when no one knew, and it was only me and truth in those moments, small but real. I learned what I should never yield,
and slowly something took its place, a grounded heart, a steady pace, not rushing now, not pulled apart, but anchored deep within my heart. I didn't need the loud applause or validation without cause. I found it in the way I stand, in every step that I have planned. So if you're caught in between, where nothing's clear, where you've been seen as lost, unsure, or far behind, while you are searching deep inside, don't rush to fill what's meant to grow. Don't chase a path you barely know. There's purpose in the unseen space. There's strength in moving at your pace.
Listen closely past the fear,
Past the voices drawing near.
there's something steady, something true,
that's always been inside of you. It won't shout, it won't demand, but it will help you understand that even in your weakest state,
you're still aligned with something great.
and when the night feels far too long and everything feels deeply wrong, remember every step you've made, even those you wish would fade.
They were shaping who you are,
Guiding you through near and far,
not by force, not by might,
but by choosing what is right.
so take the step, though undefined.
Though it may stretch your heart and mind, though nothing guarantees the end, and no one's there to comprehend, because the path that calls you true is not outside, it's built in you.
Layer by layer, breath by breath,
Beyond the fear, beyond the death,
and one day standing where you are,
you'll see how every hidden scar
was not a break, but something more, a silent opening door to a life that's real and deep,
to a truth you chose to keep, and all the roads you walked alone
were leading you to what
you've grown.
There's a line you cannot see between who you are and who you'll be. It doesn't shout, it doesn't show, but deep inside you always know, when every road looks just the same and every voice is chasing fame, there's something quiet standing still, calling you beyond your will. I've stood in places lost and wide, with nothing left to hold inside, where every answer felt too far, and I forgot just who we are.
I tried to follow what was near, what felt like safety, free from fear, but every step that wasn't true only pulled me far from you.
Not from a person, not from a place, but from a truth I couldn't replace, a steady sense I used to feel that something deeper
Must be real.
There were moments I gave in,
Let the outside voices win,
turned away from what I knew,
just to do what others do,
and for a while it felt okay,
like I had found an easier way,
but underneath I felt the
a
cost.
quiet part of me was lost,
So I returned, though full of doubt,
questions I couldn't sort out,
no clear sign, no guiding light,
just a will to choose what's right.
and step by step through unseen
I
ground,
felt that missing part be found,
not in noise, not in speed, but in meeting my true needs.
some will never turn around,
Lost in what they think they found,
building lives that look so strong,
but something deep inside is wrong.
I don't judge, I understand how easy it is to follow plans that promise peace but take your core.
And leave you empty at the door. I remember remember standing still,
caught between two kinds of will.
one that pulls to comfort ease,
One that asks for honesty.
and though the second felt so hard,
Like walking through a field unguarded,
I knew that's where I had to go.
even if it moved me slow.
There's a courage rarely seen
In choosing what has always been,
not the trend, not what's
but
allowed.
what stands quiet in the crowd.
It won't reward you right away,
It won't remove the weight you carry,
but it will build a strength so deep
that nothing else could ever keep.
What if truth is something lived?
Not something taken, not just given.
What if every choice you make
Is shaping what you won't forsake?
What if the pain you try to hide
Is actually a turning tide,
leading you where you should stand?
even if you don't understand.
I began to see the thread through every place my feet have tread, through every fall, through every ride. There was a pattern in disguise, not controlled, not clearly planned,
Guided by an unseen hand,
not forcing me, not taking
but
lead.
present in my every need.
And slowly I became aware of
Something always being there,
in every pause, in every breath.
in every space that once felt dead.
It didn't speak, but I could feel
Present, steady, calm and real.
not outside, not far away, but closer than the light of day.
So if you're standing at that edge, ooh, where every doubt becomes a wedge, ooh, where fear and truth begin to fight, ooh,
And nothing seems completely right. Don't run from what you feel inside. Don't let the deeper voice subside. It may be soft, it may be slow, but it's the one
that truly knows,
you won't find it in the race.
or in some perfect polished place,
It lives within the quiet ground,
where honest hearts are always found.
and though it asks you to be still,
To face your fear, just test your will.
it gives you something far more
A
strong.
place where you will still belong.
Because the world will always change,
Ooh,
and people's paths may rearrange,
ooh,
but what is true will always stay.
ooh.
Even when you walk away, it waits for you, it calls you back.
Through every loss, through every lack,
Not to judge,
not to blame,
but to restore what once became. So take the step though none may see,
though it may cost you everything.
though the night feels cold and long, and you don't feel that you are strong.
Because the world will always change,
And people's paths may rearrange,
but what is true will always stay, even when you walk away.
it waits for you, it calls you back. Through every loss,
Through every lack,
not to judge,
not to blame,
but to restore what once became.
so take the step though none may see.
Though it may cost you everything,
Though the night feels cold and long, and you don't feel that you are strong.
because the strength you're searching for,
It's not in reaching something more,
it's in returning deep within,
to where the truth has always been.
and one day when you finally stand,
With steady heart and open hand,
you'll see the road you feared the most.
was where you grew the deepest roots,
Not by chance, not by design,
but by a truth you chose as mine.
and every step you walked alone
Was leading you back to your own, yeah.
There comes a point you cannot stay in the place you've always known, where comfort starts to fade away and silence feels like home. The noise you used to follow close begins to lose its sound, and something deeper, barely heard, starts turning you around. I didn't plan to walk this far, didn't mean to drift apart from everything that felt so sure, from everything I called my start. But step by step, without a map, through questions I couldn't solve, I found myself in places new, where I was forced to evolve. I
lost the rhythm I once knew, the pace that felt so right. And in that loss I faced a truth I'd always tried to fight. Not every path that feels secure is meant for you to keep. Not every promise shining bright is something yours to read. There are roads that ask for more than what the eyes can see. They call you out from who you were into who you must be. And it won't come with certainty or lines that you can trace. It shows itself in quiet shifts, in time, in unseen grace. It meets you in the letting go, in moments stripped and bare, when all you have is honesty and something still is there. I've stood where everything was gone, where nothing felt the same, where all the things I leaned upon could no longer hold my name. And in that place of empty ground, where fear was standing tall, I felt a whisper, soft but sure, that I could walk through all. It didn't promise ease or light or take away the strain, but it stayed close in every step, through loss, through doubt, through pain. And slowly I began to see, not with my eyes, but more, that what I thought was breaking me was opening a door. What if the thought you fear the most is where you learn to stand? What if the ground beneath you shifts to place you where you land? What if the silence you avoid is where your answers live? Not in the rush, not in the noise, but in what you won't give. There's a strength in standing still when everything says run. There's a power in choosing truth when it costs you what you've won. Not everything that leaves is lost, not everything that stays is right. Sometimes the dark you walk through now is leading you to light. I began to walk with less control, less need to know. And in that space I found a peace that I had missed before. Not because the path was clear or everything aligned, but because I learned to trust what was deeper than my mind. And day by day, through unseen change, through choices small but real, I felt a steady ground return beneath the way I feel. Not built on what could fade away or what the world defines, but on a truth I couldn't shake, no matter how we tried. So if you're standing where I stood, between the known and new, where everything feels undefined and nothing feels like you, don't rush to find a way out fast. Don't fill the space with noise. There's meaning in the waiting too. There's wisdom in that choice, because the path that shapes you most is not the one that's shown. It's built in moments no one sees. When you're standing all alone, when you choose what late. Though you're unsure, afraid, though everything you thought was firm now slowly starts to fade, because what's real will always stay. Even when all else goes, and what you build upon that truth is stronger than you know. And one day you will look behind at every uncertain place and see it wasn't emptiness, but a necessary space where you were stripped of what you knew, to see what still remains and find within the quiet depth a strength that never wanes, yours. And one day you will look behind at every uncertain place.
No, 9. There's a moment when the ground gives way, when everything you knew won't stay, when every plan begins to break and you don't know which step to take. The voices fade, the noise is gone, the place you stood is overrun, and in that space so undefined, you're left alone with your own mind. I try to hold what slipped from me, try to keep what couldn't be, grasping at what used to stand like water running through my hands. The more I fought to make it last, the faster everything just passed. And in the end I had to face that I was never meant to chase. Not every loss is meant to hurt, not every fall throws you in dirt. Sometimes the breaking clears the way for something real that's here to stay. So I stood still, though filled with fear, with nothing left but what was here. No clear answer, no design, just fragments I could not align. And in that pause, so raw, so deep, I felt a shift I couldn't keep. Not in control, not in command, but guided by an unseen hand. It didn't tell me where to go or show me things I need to know. It simply stayed so calm, so near, a quiet presence through the fear. And slowly I began to trust, not in outcomes, not in must, but in the way each step would form, even in the middle of the storm. Some will run when things collapse, try to fill the sudden gaps with anything that feels like ground, just to not feel lost, unbound. But I have learned to let it be, to sit within uncertainty, to face the unknown without disguise, and see beyond familiar lies. There were nights I questioned all, every rise and every fall, every turn I chose to make, every risk I chose to take, wondering if I lost my way or drifted far too far astray. But deeper still beneath the doubt was something I could not push out. It didn't shout, it didn't fight, it didn't force me into light. It simply waited patient, still beyond my fear, beyond my will. And in that waiting I could see it wasn't leading over me, but walking with me step by step through every loss I hadn't left. What if the moment you break apart is where you find your truest heart? What if the ground you think you've lost was never meant to bear your cost? What if the silence you resist is where your deeper truth exists? Not in answers, not in speed, but in becoming who you need. I began to walk again, not with certainty, not with plan, but with the sense I couldn't deny, that something real was standing by. Not ahead, not far away, but present in each fragile day, in every breath, in every choice, in every time I found my voice. Slowly what once felt like loss turned into a different cross, not a burden I must bear, but a path that led me there, to a place I could stand true without where to begin, where everything feels torn apart and fear is pressing on your heart. Don't rush to build what fell too fast. Don't try to force what couldn't last. There's something forming in the space you cannot see, you cannot chase. Because the deepest strength you grow is never something you will show. It's built in moments, stripped and bare, when no one else is even there. When all you have is what is true, and every false thing falls from you. That's where the foundation starts, in the quiet rebuilding of your heart. And when the light begins to rise, not as a shock but slow and wise, you'll see it wasn't all in vain. Every loss, every pain, they carved a path you couldn't fake. They shaped the choices you would make. They brought you here through all unknown to stand in truth, fully your own. So take the step, though it feels small, though you feel nothing much at all, though the weight is hard to bear and answers feel like nowhere. Because the step you take in truth is stronger than your strongest proof. And every move you make with care builds something lasting, something rare. And one day you will understand why you had to lose your ground, why everything you held so tight had to fall without a sound. Not to leave you lost in space, but to lead you to this place where nothing false could come along, and only truth could make you strong. Note 10. There's a turning you can't escape, when every plan begins to break. When what you built with careful hands no longer feels like where you stand. The road you walk so confidently starts to shift beneath your feet, and all the things you thought were right fade quietly into the night. I didn't see you coming near, didn't recognize the fear that slowly grew beneath the calm, hidden deep yet holding on. I played along, I held the line, tried to make it all align, but something deep refused to stay. It kept on pulling me away, away from noise, away from speed, away from everything I'd believed, into a place I couldn't name, where nothing ever felt the same. There's a breaking of the frame, a letting go of borrowed names, a shedding of the outer skin to meet the truth that lives within. And it won't come in easy ways or fit inside your planned out days. It meets you where you least expect, beyond control, beyond effect. I found myself without a guide, no clear direction left inside, just a quiet steady thread leading where I hadn't led. And though it asked for all of me, every doubt, uncertainty, I couldn't turn, I couldn't stay. It was the only honest way. Some will cling to what they know, afraid to let the old self go, holding tight to fading light, just to keep what feels like right. But I have seen what that can do, how it bends what once was true, how slowly piece by piece you lose the part of you you cannot choose. So I stood still within the shift, felt the weight, embraced the drift, didn't run, didn't hide, let the moment open wide. And in that space so undefined, I left the former self behind, not in force, not in despair, but in the choice to meet what's there. What if the change you fear the most is what will shape you coast to coast? What if the fall you try to fight is what will set your vision right? What if the unknown you avoid is where your truth is first deployed?
to ignite. There's a strength in not knowing, and simply being, slowly growing, and letting go of needing more to find what you are living for. Not in gaining, not in fame, not in building up a name, but in the way you choose to stand, with nothing left but where you land. I began to feel the ground, not from what was built around, but from something deep and still, beyond the reach of force or will. A quiet center, calm and true, unaffected by the view of what the world might say or claim, or how it tries to shape your name. And step by step, without a sound, I felt my roots go deeper down, not to hold what fades away, but to live a different way, a way that doesn't chase the end or bend itself just to pretend, but walks in truth, though undefined, and leaves the false things far behind. So if you're standing in that place where nothing feels like it, a space where everything you knew before no longer opens any door, don't rush to fill the open air, don't force a path that isn't there. There's something forming in the break, a deeper step you're meant to take, because the path that leads you true will strip away what isn't you. It won't preserve what must be gone, to build the place where you belong. And though it may feel like the end, like something you cannot defend, it's only clearing what's untrue, to make a space that's meant for you. And when you walk it step by step, with nothing certain, nothing set, you'll find a peace you've never known, not from the world, but from your own. A steady ground beneath your feet, a silent strength, complete, replete, that doesn't break when storms arise, because it's something real inside. So take the step, though it feels late, though it may challenge what you've made, though everything feels rearranged and nothing stays the way it's framed, because the truth you choose to live is more than anything you give. It's what remains when all is gone, the quiet place you stand upon. And one day looking back, you'll see, through every lost identity, through every fall, through every bend, you weren't broken, you would mend. You were becoming something more than anything you were before, not by chance, not by design, but by a truth you made as thine. There's a whisper in the waiting space, where time slows down and you lose your pace, where everything you used to trust turns into questions, dust to dust. The road ahead won't show its face, no clear direction, no steady place, and all you have is what you feel, a fragile sense of something real. I've walked through seasons undefined, where nothing seemed to align, where every door I tried to find faded slowly from my mind. I held on tight to what I knew, to every promise I thought was true, but one by one they slipped away, like shadows at the break of day. And in that loss so deep, so wide, I met a truth I couldn't hide, that what I built was not enough to stand when life became too rough. There's a place where all must bend, where certainty comes to an end, where what you thought would always stay begins to slowly drift away. And in that place you're left to choose what you will keep, what you will lose, not a map to guide. No voice that spoke from outside, just a quiet pull within that told me where I should begin. Not with answers, not with sight, but with a step into the night, trusting something I could improve, yet knowing still I had to move. Some will wait for certainty before they dare to try and see, but certainty may never come until the step has been begun. Some will cling to what they know, afraid of what they can't control, but holding on too long can break the very core you need to make. I remember standing still on the edge of fear and will, where every thought pulled me apart and silence echoed through my heart. Turn around, go back, it says, stay where it's safe, where you are led. But deeper still beneath that voice was something strong, was something stronger than the noise. It didn't argue, didn't fight, it didn't force me into light. It simply stayed so calm, so true, and waited for me to choose. And when I did, though filled with fear, though nothing suddenly was clear, I felt a shift I can't explain, like something broken turned to gain. What if the unknown is the door to everything you're searching? What if the risk you're scared to take is what your inner self must make? What if the ground you try to keep is far too shallow, far too weak to hold the weight of who you are and all the places you'll go far? I began to walk with less control, less need to guess, and in that space I found a peace that slowly started to increase. Not because I knew the end or had a plan I could defend, but because I chose to stand on something deeper than I planned. And step by step the path revealed, not all at once, but piece by piece. Each moment shaped, each lesson sealed in ways that brought a deeper peace. I saw that nothing came too soon, nothing waited far too long. Every turn, each rise and fall had been shaping me all along. So if you're standing in that place where time feels slow without a pace, where nothing clearly points the way and night feels longer than the day, don't rush to find what's not yet shown. Don't force a path, don't force a path you haven't grown. There's wisdom in the in-between, in spaces quiet and unseen, because the truest path you'll take is one no one else can make. It won't be loud, it won't be fast, but it's the one that's built to last. It forms in choices small and true, in what you keep and what you do, and every time you choose what's right, even when it costs the fight. And when the light begins to rise, not as a flash but slow and wise, you'll see it wasn't ever gone. It's been within you all along. Through every doubt, through every fall, through every time you heard the call, it stayed with you both near and far. A quiet truth of who you are. So take the step, though unaware of where it leads or what is there, though fear may stand along the way, and try to make your spirit sway, because the step you take in truth is stronger than the strongest proof. And every moment you remain built something nothing can contain. One day you will look behind at every place you left confined and see it wasn't loss or end, but where you learned to rise again. Not by one day slipped away, but by a quiet steady hand that led you through what you outgrew to become someone fully true. There's a whisper in the waiting space, where time slows down and you lose your pace, where everything you used to trust turns into questions, dust to dust. The road seems undefined, where nothing seemed to align, where every door I tried to find faded slowly from my mind. I held on tight to what I knew, to every promise I thought was true, but one by one they slipped away like shadows at the break of day. And in that loss so deep, so wide, I met a truth I couldn't hide, that what I built was not enough to stand when life became too rough. There's a place where all must bend, where certainty comes to an end, where what you thought would always stay. There's a quiet breaking in the soul when you lose what made you whole, when everything you leaned upon feels like it's suddenly gone. The ground you trusted starts to shake, every step begins to break, and all that's left is who you are in the silence of the scar. I didn't know how far I'd fall, or if I'd rise again at all. I only knew I couldn't stay the same as I was yesterday. So I walked into the unknown with nothing left that felt like home, no certainty to hold me through, just something deep that felt so true. It didn't promise I'd be fine, or that the road would ever shine. It only whispered, take the step and trust the path you haven't met. There's a place beyond control, where you can't pretend or play a role, where every mask you used to wear falls away, stripped and bare. And in that place so raw, so real, you face the things you tried to seal. Every fear, every doubt, every truth you pushed without. But there's a power in that space, though it may feel like losing grace, because what's left when all is gone is what you've had inside all along. Not the image, not the name, not the need to win a game, but something deeper, something still that stands beyond your strength or will. Some will run from what they feel, hide away, refuse to heal, fill the void with louder things temporary comfort brings. But I have learned to sit within the quiet place beneath the skin, to let the questions come and stay without the need to push away. There were nights I couldn't breathe, buried under what I'd grieve, every loss, every tear, every echo of my fear. But even there I felt a thread, a silent line that gently led, not out of pain, not far away, but through it step by step each day. It didn't rush, it didn't break, it didn't bend for comfort's sake. It simply stayed both calm and strong, and pulled me slowly all along, through every doubt I couldn't hide, through every part I set aside, until I saw with clearer sight there was a strength within the fight. What if the pain you try to flee is shaping who you're meant to be? What if the loss you can't undo is clearing space inside of you? What if the emptiness you feel is where your truest self is sealed? Not in what you used to hold, but in what still remains untold. I started seeing through the break, not as something to escape, but as a doorway I must cross, even if it feels like loss. And step by step through unseen ground, a deeper center I had found, not shaken by the outer storm, but steady, quiet, and reborn. I didn't need the world to say that I was finally okay. I felt it in the way I stand with nothing left but where pushed the truth aside just to calm I couldn't fake from every choice I chose to make. So if you're standing in that place where everything has lost its shape, where nothing feels the way it did and every answer feels well hid, don't rush to build what fell apart. Don't numb the voice within your heart. There's something forming in the space, a deeper truth you're meant to face. Because the strength that truly lasts is never built too strong, too fast. It grows in quiet, unseen ways, through honest nights and fragile days. When you choose truth over ease, when you fall down to your knees and still decide to rise again without a map, without a plan, that's where something shifts inside. Beyond the fear you tried to hide, a grounded sense, a steady flame that doesn't seek a name or fame. It lives in how you choose to be when no one else can ever see. In every step you take alone, that builds a life that's truly your own. So take the step, though it may break everything you thought you would make, though it may cost you what you knew and show a different side of you. Because the truth you choose to live is more than anything you give. It's what remains when all is gone, the place your life is standing on. And one day when you look behind at every place you left confined, you'll see it wasn't just the end, but where you learn to rise again. Not in power, not in might, but in choosing what is right. Through every loss, through every scar, you became just who you are. There's a quiet edge where endings start, where letting go breaks open the heart, where all you held begins to slip like fading light from your fingertips. You stand between what was and will be, with no clear sign of what you'll see. Just a silent pull you can't ignore, calling you to something more. I didn't know what I would lose when I first began to choose a path that didn't look the same as every road that called my name. It wasn't clear, it wasn't bright, it didn't promise ease or light, but something deep would not let go, a truth I felt but couldn't show. So I stepped beyond the line, left behind what once was mine, even when it felt unclear, even when it stirred up fear. There were moments I look back at the life I seemed to lack, wondering if I had been wrong for holding on for far too long. But every time I almost turned, something deeper in me burned, not with force, not with demand, but like a steady open hand. It didn't push, it didn't pull, it didn't try to make me whole. It simply stayed and let me see what was always meant to be. And slowly through the doubt and pain, through the loss I couldn't name, I felt a shift I can't explain, like something broken formed again. Some will stay where they feel safe, even if it reshapes their faith in what is real and what is true, just to keep a certain view. Some will run from what they feel, afraid to face what might reveal a deeper need, a hidden call that asks for more than just it all. I've stood where silence filled the air, with questions no one else could bear, where every answer seemed too far, and I forgot just who we are. space so still, so wide. I found a truth I couldn't hide. Not in words, not in sight, but in the strength to face the night.
It didn't promise I would win or shield me from the storm within. It only showed a simple way to walk with truth from day to day. And step by step, though slow it seemed, I started living what I dreamed. Not in what I tried to be,
but in what was inside of me.
What if the path that feels so hard
is the one that shapes your heart?
What if the loss you can't explain is
clearing space for something gained?
What if the silence you resist
is where your deepest purpose sits?
Not in noise, not in show,
but in a truth you come to know.
I began to walk with less
illusion, less excess,
and in that space I felt a peace
that didn't come from outer ease.
It came from standing where I am,
without the need to understand
every turn, every bend,
or where this path would finally end. And slowly, like the dawn of day, the shadows started fading away. Not because the world had changed, but because I had rearranged the way I see, the way I choose, what I keep and what I lose. And in that shift so deep, so true, I found a life I never knew.
So if you're standing at that place
where nothing seems to hold its shape,
where all you knew begins to fall,
and you feel like you've lost it all, don't rush to rebuild what is gone. Don't force yourself to carry on. There's something forming in the break, a deeper path you're meant to take.
Because the truest strength you'll find
is not in body, not in mind,
but in the quiet space within,
where truth and courage both begin,
where you choose to stand your ground,
even when no one's around,
where you follow what is right,
even when you lose the fight. That's where something real takes root, beyond the need for visible proof. A steady ground that won't be moved by shifting winds or changing moods.
It builds in ways you cannot see,
through patience
and integrity.
And though it takes what feels like time, it shapes a life that's truly mine.
So take the step, though unaware
of what may come or what is there,
though fear may rise and doubt may stay,
and try to slowly pull away. Because the truth you choose to live is more than anything you give. It's what remains when all is gone, the place your life is standing on. And one day you will look behind at every place you left confined, and see it wasn't loss or end, but where you learn to rise again.
Not through force, not through demand,
but by a quiet, steady hand
that led you through what you outgrew,
to become someone fully true. Where there's a silence after everything breaks, when the noise finally fades away, when all the plans you try to make no longer have a place to stay. You stand where nothing feels the same, no clear direction, no steady name, just a space you can't define between what's lost and what's not mine. I didn't think it would end this way, not in fragments, not in gray. I thought I'd see the path ahead before I ever chose to tread. But life doesn't always work like that. It pulls you far, then takes you back to places deep you tried to hide, to truths you buried deep inside. And in that place so stripped and bare, I met a weight I couldn't share. Every doubt, every fear, every reason I was here. There's a break and you can't avoid, a space where all is once destroyed. Not to leave you empty, gone, but to rebuild what you stand on. And it won't come with answers clear, So I stayed still, though hard it felt, with nothing left, no cards to dealt, no certainty, no guiding sign, just something deeper, more aligned. It didn't speak, it didn't show, it didn't tell me where to go, but it remained so calm, so true, and slowly helped me make it through. Someone rushed to fill the space, to find a new and safer place, to build again what once was lost, without considering the cost. But I have learned to let it be, to sit within uncertainty, to face the void without disguise, and see beyond familiar lies. There were nights I couldn't stand the shifting ground beneath my hand, where everything I tried to hold turned to something I couldn't mold. I questioned all I thought was true, every path I thought I knew, wondering if I lost my way or if I'd ever see the day. But even there, within the fall, I felt a thread beneath it all, a steady line I couldn't break, no matter how much I would shake. It didn't promise I'd be free from every storm surrounding me, it only showed a way to stand on something I could understand. What if the breaking is the start of rebuilding from the heart? What if the loss you fear the most is what will shape you coast to coast? What if the silence you resist is where your truest self exists, not in what you used to be, but in who you're meant to see? I began to rise again, not with strength I could defend, but with a calm I couldn't fake, from every choice I chose to make, step by step through unseen ground, a deeper footing I had found, not in speed, not in show, but in a truth I came to know. And slowly what once felt like pain turned into a quiet gain, not in what the world could see, but in what was changing me. I didn't need to prove my place or keep up in a certain race, I found it in the way I stand, with nothing left but where I land. So if you're standing in that space, where nothing seems to hold its place, where everything you knew before no longer opens any door, don't rush to build what fell apart, don't silence what's within your heart. There's something forming in the break, a deeper step you're meant to take. Because the strength that truly lasts is never built too strong, too fast. It grows in moments stripped and real, where you must face what you can feel, where you choose truth over ease, even when you're on your knees, where nothing else can take its place, but honest steps at your own pace. And when the light begins to rise, not in flashes but in wise and steady ways you didn't see, you'll know it came from what could be, not from force, not from control, but from the deep within your soul that stayed with you through every end and brought you back to rise again. So take the step, though it feels late, though everything seems out of place, though fear may whisper turn around, and doubt may try to pull you down. Because the truth you choose to live is more than anything you give. It's what remains when all is gone, the ground your life is standing on. And one day you will look behind at every place you left confined, and see it wasn't just the end, but where you learned to rise again. Not through power, not through might, but by choosing what is right. Through every fall, through every scar, you became just who you are. There's a moment when the road goes still, when time bends to a deeper will, when everything you thought you knew falls away from in front of you. No sign ahead, no voice behind, just open space within your mind. And in that place, so vast, so bare, you feel something already there. I didn't choose the path at first, it felt like something unrehearsed, like being pulled beyond my plan into a place I don't understand. I try to turn to go back home, to what was safe, to what I'd known, but every step I took that way felt like I slowly lost my way. So I stopped fighting
There's a shift that comes within, not from loss but from within. When all the layers start to fall and you're left standing through it all. No mask to wear, no role to play, no perfect words to hide away. Just who you are without disguise, standing face to face with life. And in that space something begins, a quiet strength beneath the skin, not built on what the world can see, but on a deeper honesty. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shout, it doesn't try to push you out. It simply waits for you to see that everything you need can be. Some will run from what they face, chasing time, avoiding space, filling every empty part so they don't hear their own heart. But I have learned to let it speak, even when it makes me weak, even when it breaks me down and turns my silence into sound. There were nights I couldn't stand, the emptiness I couldn't plan, where every thought just circled back to everything I thought I lacked. But deeper still, beneath the pain, I felt something still remain, a steady pulse, a silent flame that never shifted, never changed. It didn't tell me where to go or show me things I need to know. It simply stayed through every fall and helped me rise beyond it all. And step by step I came to see it wasn't leading over me, but walking with me side by side through every truth I couldn't hide. What if the place you fear the most is where you find your inner ghost? What if the fall you try to fight is what will set your vision right? What if the silence you avoid is where your strength is first deployed? Not in answers, not in sight, but in the courage to ignite. I started letting go of more of what I tried to hold before, and in that space I felt a ground, not in the world but inward found. A place where I could finally stand without needing to understand every step or where it leads, just trusting what my spirit needs. And slowly something changed in me, not in what the world could see, but in the way I chose to be, rooted in authenticity. No longer chasing what might fade, no longer trapped in what I made, but living from a place so true that everything felt fresh and new. So if you're standing where I've been, between the loss and where to begin, where nothing feels the way it did, and every answer feels well hid, don't rush to fill the open space, don't run to find a safer place. There's something growing in the still, beyond your fear, beyond your will. Because the life you're meant to live is not in what you try to give to every voice that calls your name, or every version of the game is built in moments you stay true when no one else is watching you, and all you have is what you feel, and you decide to keep it real. That's where something strong is born, not in comfort, not in form, but in the choice to stand your ground when nothing else is safe or sound. And though it may not shine at first, though it may feel like something worse, it's shaping you in ways unseen into who you've always been. So take the step, though undefined, though it stretches hard and mind, though fear may rise and doubt may stay, and try to slowly pull away, because the truth you choose to live is more than anything you give. It's what remains when all is gone, the place your life is standing on. And one day you will look behind at every place you left confined, and see it wasn't loss or end, but where you learned to rise again. Not by force, not by design, but by a truth you made as thine. And every road you walked alone was leading you back to your own wet.
When the night feels longer than it should, and your heart forgets what hope once looked like, when the road ahead is hidden in the dark, and every step feels heavier than before. You don't have to have it all figured out, you don't need to see the ending now. There's a strength inside you, quiet but real, even when you doubt it. within you, steady and true, whispering softly, keep moving ahead. Stand strong, don't let your heart give in. Be brave, even when it's hard to begin. You're not alone in this unknown road. There's a light that's guiding you home. Hold on, even when you feel afraid. Step forward, even when shadows stay. Every moment you choose to believe is a victory no one can take. Yeah. You were never meant to walk in fear. You were made for more than just surviving. Every challenge shaping who you are. Every scar is proof you kept going. There's a purpose in the unseen path, even when it doesn't make sense now. What feels like the end could be the start of something greater than you imagined. When your strength feels like it's fading away, and the weight is too much to bear, there's a power rising deep inside, calling you forward, saying don't stop here. Stand strong, don't let your heart give in. Be brave, even when it's hard to begin. You're not alone in this unknown road. There's a light that's guiding you home. Hold on, even when you feel afraid. Step forward, even when shadows stay. Every moment you choose to believe is a victory no one can take. You don't have to fight this on your own. Even silence is holding you close. In every step, in every breath, there is help you cannot always see. When the world says you're not enough, when your mind fills up with doubt, remember who you're meant to be, stronger than what's in front of you now. Don't turn back, you've come too far to stop now. Even the smallest step forward is still a step towards the light. Stand strong, this is not the end. Be brave, the story will rise again. Through every storm, through every fall, you're learning how to stand tall. Hold on, you're closer than you know. Step forward, let your courage grow. There's a truth that won't let you break, a strength that no fear can shake. So walk on, even if you tremble. Move on, even if it's slow. You are guided, you are held, more than you'll ever know. Stand strong, and don't be afraid anymore. There are days you question everything, every choice, every step you take. When the future feels like empty space and your confidence begins to shake, you try to hold it all together. The weight is hard to hide, smiling on the outside world while storms are raging deep inside. But even in the silence, something calls your name, a quiet strength you didn't know remained. Through every doubt, through every fear, there's something greater pulling you near. Go forward, even if you're unsure. Be steady, even when it hurts. You don't need all the answers now. Just take the step and trust somehow. Don't give in to the voice of fear. There's a reason you are still here. Every step you choose to take is leading you to something great. You were built for more than this moment, more than just surviving the day. Every struggle has a meaning, even when it feels lost in the gray. There's a fire you cannot extinguish, no matter how the winds may blow. It's been there since the very beginning, a truth your heart will always know. When the road gets rough and hard to see, and doubt becomes your gravity, there's a force that won't let you fall, rising again. When you feel small, go forward, even if you're unsure. Be steady, even when it hurts. You don't
take the step and trust somehow. Don't give in to the voice of fear. There's a reason you are still here. Every step you choose to take is leading you to something great. You are not lost, you're being shaped. Every delay is not a mistake. Even the pain is part of the plan, turning you into who you can. When you feel like letting go and there's nowhere else to go, remember this, you're not alone. Even when it feels unknown, breathe in. You're stronger than this moment, hold on. You're closer than you think, go for it. This is not the end, stand tall, rise again. Through every fall, through every fight, you're stepping into your own light. Don't give up, you've come too far. You're stronger than you think you are. There's a truth you can't erase, a steady guide through every place. So keep walking, don't look back. Even shadows fade to black. You are moving, you are growing, more than you will ever know. Go for it, and don't be afraid anymore.
When your heart feels heavy without a reason and your mind keeps running in circles again, when the path ahead is wrapped in silence and you don't know where to begin, you keep searching for a clear direction, a sign that tells you what is right. But sometimes the next small step forward is the only needed light. You don't have to rush the moment, you don't have to see it all. There's a quiet strength within you, ready every time you call. Take one step, even if it's small. Don't be afraid of the unknown call. You are stronger than you feel inside. There's a truth you can't deny. Hold your ground when fear appears. You've survived your hardest years. Every step you dare to take leads you closer to your break. You were never meant to stand still, not designed to live in doubt. There's a reason your heart is restless, it's trying to lead you out. Every moment you keep going, even when it's hard to breathe, is a sign of something greater, a quiet power underneath. When the world feels overwhelming and your vision starts to fade, there's a hand you cannot always see, helping you not be afraid. Take one step, even if it's small. Don't be afraid of the unknown call. You are stronger than you feel inside. There's a truth you can't deny. Hold your ground when fear appears. You survived your hardest years. Every step you dare to take leads you closer to your break. Even in your weakest moment, you are not as weak as you think. There's a fire still burning in you, even standing on the brink. You don't need to be perfect now, you don't need to understand. Just keep moving, keep believing. Life will meet you where you stand. Slow down, you're allowed to breathe again. Look up, this is not the end. Take one step, don't turn away. Even in the darkest day, there's a light
right anymore.
There are moments when the ground feels weak, like everything you built might fall apart. When the weight of life is hard to speak, and silence echoes in your heart. You try to carry what no one sees, the hidden pressure, the quiet pain, standing strong for everyone else while you're the one caught in the rain. And every step feels uncertain now, like you're walking on a fragile line, between holding on and letting go, between I'm okay and not this time. But even here in the deepest doubt, there's a voice that won't fade out. Not loud, not rushed, but steady and true, calling you forward, breaking through. Be unshaken even when you fear, stand your ground, your path is here. You don't have to see the end, just take the step and rise again. Don't let the darkness take your sight, there's still a spark, there's still a light. Through every fall, through every scar, you're stronger than you think you are. You were never meant to stay the same. Every trial is shaping you, not to break but to refine, to make your vision clear and true. Even when the road is long and every answer feels delayed, there's a purpose in the waiting, even in the slowest days. What you feel is not the end, it's the tension before you rise, like the calm before the turning tide, like the dawn before the sky. When your strength feels out of reach and your soul is tired of the climb, there's a force beyond your fear, holding you through space and time. Be unshaken even when you fear, stand your ground, your path is here. You don't have to see the end, just take the step and rise again. Don't let the darkness take your sight, there's still a spark, there's still a light. Through every fall, through every scar, you're stronger than you think you are. There are days you wanna disappear, lose yourself and fade away, when the noise becomes too loud and you don't know what to say. But even then there's something more, a deeper truth you can't erase, a quiet strength that still remains even in your weakest place. You are not the fear you feel, you are not the doubt inside, you are more than every moment that ever made you wanna hide. So when your heart begins to race and your thoughts begin to break, there's a rhythm you can follow, a steady breath you can take. Be unshaken, don't back down, even when the world spins around. You are grounded, you are strong, you have been this all along. Hold the line, don't lose your place, there is meaning in this race. Every step, both weak and far, is building who you really are. You don't have to prove your worth, you don't have to earn your place, you are already enough, even in your slowest pace. When the world feels cold and distant and your hope begins to fade, there's a presence all around you in every breath you've ever made. Not always seen, not always heard, but always closer than you know. In every step you're not alone, even when it doesn't show. So lift your eyes beyond the storm, there is more than what you see. Every ending breaks a wall, every fall can set you free. Let the fear come, let it pass, it was never meant to last. You are rising even now, you are stronger even now. Piece by piece you're being rebuilt, from every doubt, from every guilt. This is not your breaking point, this is where your strength is born. Slow down, feel your breath again, you're still here, that means something. Don't rush, you're allowed to grow. There are nights you lie awake in silence, tracing every step you've made, wondering if it even matters, if you chose the right or wrong way. The weight of what it fills your mind like shadows you cannot run. Every doubt becomes a question of who you are, and what you've done. You try to find a perfect answer, a sign that clears the road ahead. But life doesn't always give you clarity. Sometimes it asks for courage instead. And in the middle of confusion, when nothing feels secure, there's a quiet voice reminding you you've made it through before. Keep going even when it's hard, even when your battle's scarred. You don't have to run the race, just keep moving at your pace. Don't give up, you've come too far. You're stronger than your doubts are. Every step you choose to take is a move your future makes. You were never meant to be fearless. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing to move forward even when the path's unclear. Every tear you've ever hidden, every moment you held on is proof that there's a strength within you that's been there all along. You might not see the bigger picture, you might not understand today, but every piece is slowly forming in a quiet, steady way. When your energy is fading and your hope feels paper thin, there's a deeper force inside you that refuses to give in. Keep going even when it's hard, even when your battle's scarred. You don't have to run the race, just keep moving at your pace. Don't give up, you've come too far. You're stronger than your doubts are. Every step you choose to take is a move your future makes. There are days you feel forgotten, like your efforts disappear, like you're shouting into nothing, hoping someone else will hear. But growth is often hidden in the quiet, unseen place, where no applause is waiting, yet you're still running your race. And even when it feels so slow, like you're barely making ground, you are building something stronger every time you don't back down. So when your heart feels heavy and the climb feels way too steep, remember every promise you've already chosen to keep. Keep going, don't lose your way, even on your weakest day. There's a fire that still remains, burning through the doubts and pain. Don't give up, you're not alone, even if it feels unknown. Every step you fight to take is a choice your soul will make. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to be strong. Every moment you keep trying is where you truly belong. When you feel like you are breaking, like there's nothing left to give, it's the moment something deeper reminds you how to live. Not with fear, not with regret, but with the quiet, steady flame that continues through the darkness, even when life feels the same. Let the pressure shape your focus, let the struggle build your will. Every mountain you are climbing is preparing you still. You are not behind or late, you are right where you should be. Every second, every breath is rewriting your story. Breathe in, you've survived this far. Hold on, you know who you are. Slow down, you don't need to rush. closer than you think you are. When everything you trusted starts to shake, and the ground beneath you feels unsure. When the plans you made begin to break, and nothing feels steady anymore. You try to hold on to what you knew, but it's slipping through your hands. Like a story you thought was written clear, now rewritten in ways unplanned. And in the silence of the unknown, you wonder if you've lost your way. If every step was just a mistake, leading you further from your day. But even here in the shifting ground, there's a truth that still remains. Not everything that falls apart is meant to stay the same. Rise again, even from the fall, even when you've lost it all. There's a strength you can't erase, still alive within this place. Stand back up, don't stay down. You were never meant to drown. Every time you choose to try, there's another way you rise. You were never meant to be unbroken. Life was never meant to stay still. Every crack reveals a story. Every test reveals your will. There's a power in rebuilding, in starting over once again. Not from weakness, not from failure, but from strength that grew in pain. Even when you feel exhausted, like you've given all you can, there's a deeper source within you, still reaching out its hand. When your heart begins to question if you'll ever feel okay, there's a quiet force reminding you you're not done with your story today. Rise again, even from the fall, even when you've lost it all. There's a strength you can't erase, still alive within this place. Stand back up, don't stay down. You were never meant to drown. Every time you choose to try is another way you rise. Yeah, there are moments you feel empty, like the fire has burned out, like the voice that once was certain now is buried under doubt. But even ashes hold a promise of a flame that can return. What feels like an ending now is a place where you can learn. You are not your lowest moment, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after losing it all. So when the night feels endless and the weight is hard to bear, there's a strength beyond the surface still reminding you it's there. Rise again, don't be afraid. Even in the darkest place, there's a light that still remains, calling you beyond the pain. Stand back up, find your ground, even when no hope is found. Every breath you choose to take is a step you still can make. You don't have to rush your healing, you don't have to fake a smile. Every step of broken pieces still can lead you mile by mile. When you feel like you are fading, like there's nothing left to give, there's a deeper rhythm in you still reminding you to live. Not just exist, not just survive, but to rise and truly breathe. To find meaning in the struggle and the strength you can't unsee. Let the pain become your teacher, let the fall become your guide. Every time you think it's over is a chance to rise inside. You are not too far gone, you are not too late to change. Every second that you're here means your life can rearrange. Breathe slow, you're still standing here. Hold on, you have nothing to fear. Look up, there's more ahead. This moment is not the end. Rise again, this is your time. Even from the lowest
to begin. You are stronger than you know. Every fall can help you grow. Rise again. This is not where your story ends. This is not where your story ends. This is where a new one begins.
There are mornings you wake up tired before the day has even begun, carrying dreams that feel so distant, like battles you've already lost or won. You stare at the mirror, searching for answers, but questions are all you find. Trying to quiet the noise within that keeps replaying in your mind. You tell yourself to keep it together, to push through and just be strong. But even strength can feel so fragile when you've been holding on too long. And in that moment when you feel unseen, like no one knows what you've been through, there's a quiet truth beneath it all, still reaching out to you. Stay the course, don't drift away, even when it's hard to stay. You are closer than you know, even in the dark and low. Don't give up, don't lose your ground. There's a strength that can be found. Every step, both weak and sure, is making who you are endure. You were never meant to carry every burden on your own. Even when it feels like silence, there is more than being alone. Every tear you try to hide, every fear you locked away, is seen in ways you can't imagine, even when you couldn't say. There's a rhythm in your breathing, there's a reason you're still here. Even in the weight of pressure, there's a purpose in the fear. When the road feels never ending and your hope begins to bend, there's a presence in the distance calling you to rise again. Stay the course, don't drift away, even when it's hard to stay. You are closer than you know, even in the dark and low. Don't give up, don't lose your ground. There's a strength that can be found. Every step, both weak and sure, is making who you are endure. There are days you wanna stop now, drop the weight and walk away, when the climb feels far too heavy and the sky has turned to gray. But even storms are temporary, even pain will have its end. What feels like it's breaking you is what's about to make you bend. And bending isn't always breaking, sometimes it's how you grow, learning how to keep your balance when life moves too fast or slow. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your strength feels almost gone, there's a steady hand within you helping you keep moving on. Stay the course, hold on tight, even through the longest night. There's a light you cannot see, still guiding you to be. Don't give up, you're not alone, even when it feels unknown. Every step you choose to take is a path you're meant to make. You don't have to be unshaken, you don't have to stand so tall. Even broken steps can carry you through it all. When you feel like you are fading, like your voice has lost its sound, there's a deeper truth within you that is waiting to be found. Not in perfection, not in speed, not in proving you're enough, but in simply choosing forward even when the road is rough. Let the pressure turn to purpose, let the doubt refine your sight. Every shadow you are facing is revealing hidden light. You are not just where you've been, you are more than what you see. Every breath, every step is shaping who you'll be. Slow down, you're still in the race. Breathe in, there is still a place. Hold on, you're not too far gone right now. You still belong, stay the course, don't let go.
sky turns black. You are moving, you are growing, more than you are ever showing. Stay the course, you are held, you are known, even when you feel alone.
There are days the sky turns heavy before you even step outside. A quiet weight you cannot name, but you feel it deep inside. Every plan feels disconnected, every dream a step away, like you're reaching out for something that keeps drifting out of place. You try to gather all your strength, but it slips through every crack. And no matter how you move ahead, it feels like you're being pulled back. But even storms have hidden rhythms, even chaos has a flow. And somewhere in the noise around you, there's a truth you need to know. Through the storm, don't run away. You were built to face this day, even when the winds collide. There's a strength you hold inside. Stand your ground, don't lose your flame. You are more than fear and pain. Every step you choose to stay is a victory you make. You were never meant for easy, you were meant for something more. Every challenge that you're facing is unlocking deeper doors. There's a fire in your spirit even when it's burning low, and the pressure all around you is what helps that fire grow. You may not see the full horizon, you may not know what's ahead, but every step you keep on taking is rewriting what you said. When the thunder keeps on rolling and the lightning splits the sky, there's a quiet calm within you that the storm can't override. Through the storm, don't run away. You were built to face this day, even when the winds collide. There's a strength you hold inside. Stand your ground, don't lose your flame. You are more than fear and pain. Every step you choose to stay is a victory you make. There are moments you feel broken, like you've lost too much to stand, like the pieces of your story slipped away from your own hands. But even shattered things can heal, even endings can restart. There's a deeper kind of power growing quietly in your heart. You are not your lowest valley, you are not your darkest hour. You are every time you stood again and discovered hidden power. So when your vision starts to blur and your strength begins to fade, there's a force beyond your fear that will not let you break. Through the storm, stand even more. This is what your strength is for. Every drop, every scar is shaping who you are. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to fight perfection, you don't have to win today. Sometimes strength is simply breathing, choosing not to walk away. When the noise becomes too loud and your thoughts begin to spin, there's a quiet place within you where your courage still begins. Not in rushing, not in force, but in steady, silent ground, where you rise without a sound and your strength is truly found. Let the storm refine your focus, let the rain wash doubt away. Every struggle you are facing is not here for you to stay. You are growing through the pressure, you are learning how to stand. Every moment you keep going is rewriting who you are. Breathe slow, you're still standing here. Hold on. The sky
rise to shine. This is your moment. This is your time. But there are days you feel the past behind you, pulling at your every step. Old mistakes and broken memories whisper things you can't forget. You try to move a little faster, but the weight won't let you run. Every shadow keeps on asking, are you sure you're not undone? You replay the same old moments, wishing you could change the end. But the past is just a chapter, not the place you're meant to live in. And even when it feels familiar to stay inside the pain, you know there's a voice that keeps on rising, saying it's time to let it go. Don't look back, keep moving on. You've been stronger all along. Every step you take ahead is rewriting what was said. Leave behind what held you down. You don't need it now. There's a future calling loud. Break away, step out the crowd. You were never meant to stay stuck in the echoes of before. There's a life still waiting for you beyond every closed door. Every lesson had a reason, every fall a hidden key. Not to trap you in the memory, but to set your spirit free. You might feel like you are late now, like you've lost too much in time, but the truth is still unfolding and your moment's still in line. When regret begins to linger and your thoughts begin to race, there's a deeper understanding. You are not your past mistakes. Don't look back, keep moving on. You've been stronger all along. Every step you take ahead is rewriting what was said. Leave behind what held you down. You don't need it now. There's a future calling loud. Break away, step out the crowd. There are nights you feel the distance between who you were and now, like a gap you cannot cross, no matter when or how. But growth is not a straight line, healing takes its time. Every step you choose to take is already part of the climb. You don't have to erase the past to become someone new. You just have to keep on walking toward what's true for you. So when your heart feels heavy and your vision feels unclear, there's a light that keeps on shining, leading you away from fear. Don't look back, don't lose your way. This is your moment here today. Every breath you choose to take is a step you choose to make. Leave behind the doubt and pain. You don't have to stay the same. There's a truth you can't deny. You were meant to rise. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to fix it all. Every time you choose to move is the moment you stand tall. When the past begins to call you with a voice you recognize, remember you have outgrown every version you left behind. There's a strength in letting go. There's a freedom in release. What you thought would always hold you now can finally give you peace. Let the past become a lesson, not a chain around your soul. Every step you're taking forward is already making you whole. You are not who you once were. You are who you choose to be. Every moment moving forward is your path to being free. Breathe out, let the past release. Hold on, you're allowed to feel peace. Look ahead, there's more to see. Right now, you are free. This is your time.
create. So walk forward, don't delay. This is where you choose your way. You are stronger than before. You don't need the past anymore. Don't look back, your future's calling loud and clear. Step into it without fear.
There are moments when your strength runs low and the road ahead feels far too steep. When every answer you once held turns uncertain, buried deep. You try to silence all the questions, but they echo in your mind. Am I enough to keep on going? Will I leave this fear behind? You stand at the edge of your comfort, looking out into the unknown. Every part of you is shaking, yet something says, keep moving on. And in that space between fear and faith, where doubt and courage meet, there's a quiet truth that calls your name. With a steady, gentle beat, be strong and brave, don't turn away. Even in your darkest day, you don't have to walk alone. There's a strength that leads you on. Hold your ground, don't give in. This is where your rise begins. Every step you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You were never meant to see it all. You were never meant to know every turn along the journey or the places you would go. But you were given something deeper than a map or perfect sight, a steady sense to keep you moving even through the longest night. There's a reason you are still here even when it's hard to see. Every breath you're taking now holds a hidden destiny. When the pressure keeps on building and your strength feels paper thin, there's a force that won't abandon, it still rises from within. Be strong and brave, don't turn away. Even in your darkest day, you don't have to walk alone. There's a strength that leads you on. Hold your ground, don't give in. This is where your rise begins. Every step you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. There are times you feel forgotten, like your voice has disappeared, like the world keeps moving forward while you're frozen in your fear. But even in your quiet waiting, even when no one can see, something powerful is forming who you're truly meant to be. You are not the fear that shakes you, you are not the doubt you hear. You are more than every moment that has ever brought you here. So when your heart begins to race and your thoughts begin to fall, there's a deeper calm inside you that can steady through it all. Be strong and brave, stand up now. You don't need to know the how. Every step you choose in faith builds a path you're meant to take. Don't give up, don't let go. You are stronger than you know. Every breath you choose to fight leads you back into the light. You don't have to be fearless, you don't have to have control. All you need is just one moment to decide to move your soul. When the world feels overwhelming and your strength is almost gone, there's a quiet hand that holds you and has held you all along. Not always seen, not always known, but always present, always near. In every step and every fall, it's been guiding you right here. Growing through the pressure, you are rising through the pain. Every time you keep on going, you are breaking every chain. Breathe in, you are still alive, hold on. You will rise, slow down. You don't need to run right now. You've already won. Be strong and brave, this is your time. Strength you now can see that was always meant to be. Stand
So keep walking, don't look back. Even when the sky turns black, you are guided, you are strong. You have been it all along. Be strong and brave, and don't be afraid anymore. Be strong and brave, and don't be afraid anymore.
There are mornings when you hesitate before your feet touch the floor, like something's waiting in the day you don't feel ready for anymore. Your thoughts begin to crowd your mind before the sun can even rise. Every doubt starts speaking louder, every fear begins to rise. You try to find a steady rhythm, something stable you can hold, but everything feels like it's shifting, like the ground beneath is cold. Yet in the middle of the tension, there's a whisper calm and clear, not demanding, not controlling, just reminding you you're here. Step into the light, don't hide away. Even when it's hard to face the day, you don't need to feel prepared, just take the step. You'll meet it there. Don't back down when shadows fall. You are stronger than it all. Every step you choose to make is a chance for you to break. You were never meant to stay inside the walls of fear you've built so high. There's a world that's still in motion, waiting for you to try. Every time you choose to step out, even with the trembling hand, you are breaking through the silence, you are learning how to stand. You may not feel like you are ready, you may not feel like you belong, but growth begins in that very moment when you decide to move along. When your heart starts beating faster and your thoughts begin to spin, and there's a deeper sense of knowing you were made to rise within. Step into the light, don't hide away. Even when it's hard to face the day, you don't need to feel prepared, just take the step. You'll meet it there. Don't back down when shadows fall. You are stronger than it all. Every step you choose to make is a chance for you to break. There are times you feel invisible, like your voice has no place, like the world is moving past you at a far too rapid pace. But even in the quiet corners where no one seems to see, there's a strength that's slowly growing, shaping who you're meant to be. You are not defined by silence, you are not erased by doubt. There is something deep within you that is trying to come out. So when your courage starts to fade and your strength feels far away, there's a light that still surrounds you, even in the darkest gray. Step into the light, stand up now. You don't need to know the how. Every step you choose in faith builds a path you're meant to take. Don't give up, don't turn around. There's a strength that will be found. Every breath you choose to fight leads you closer to the light.
you stay. Breathe in. You're still standing here. Hold on. There is nothing to fear. Look up, there's light ahead. Right now you're not at the end. Step into the light, this is your time. Even through the hardest climb, there's a strength you now can see that was always meant to be. Stand your ground and fade away. Even in the darkest place, there's a truth you can't deny. You were born to rise. So take the step, don't hesitate. This is not your final state. You are growing, you are strong. You have been it all along. Step into the light, even when it's hard. Keep moving on.
There are moments when the pressure builds like waves that never seem to end. When every breath feels heavier and your strength begins to bend. You try to stand on steady ground, but everything begins to shake. And every choice you try to make feels like it could be a mistake. You wonder if you're strong enough to face what lies ahead, or if the weight you carry now will pull you down instead. But even in the breaking point, there's something standing still. A quiet force beneath the noise, a deeper kind of will. Hold the line, don't let go, even when the winds blow. You don't have to see it through, just stay steady, stay true. Stand your ground, don't retreat, even on unsteady feet. Every moment you remain is a victory through pain. Yeah, you were never meant to escape every storm that comes your way. You were meant to stand within it, learning strength day by day. Every trial you are facing is not there to make you fall. It's revealing something deeper, hidden strength through it all. Even when you feel exhausted, like there's nothing left to give, there's a deeper source within you, still reminding you to live. When your vision starts to blur and your thoughts begin to race, there's a calm beyond the chaos holding you in place. Hold the line, don't let go, even when the winds blow. You don't have to see it through, just stay steady, stay true. Stand your ground, don't retreat, even on unsteady feet. Every moment you remain is a victory through pain. There are nights that feel endless, like a dawn will never rise. When the silence feels so heavy and you're lost inside your mind. But even in the deepest darkness, there's a truth that still remains. You are stronger than this moment, more than all your fear and pain. You are not defined by weakness, you are not your hardest fall. You are every time you stood again after giving it your all. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your strength begins to fade, there's a steady hand within you that will not let you break. Hold the line, stand even more. This is what your strength is for. Every second you endure is shaping something pure. Don't give up, don't give in. This is where you rise within. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to rush your healing, you don't have to prove your worth. Every step you take in weakness still has meaning, still has birth. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fall, there's a quiet presence with you standing through it all. Not always seen, not always known, but always steady, always near. In every step, in every breath, it has carried you right here. Let the storm test your foundation, let the fire shape your core. Every moment you keep standing makes you stronger than before. You are not too weak to continue, you are not too far to rise.
Breathe slow, you're still holding on, stay here. You're not done, look up, there's strength inside. Right now, you will rise. Hold the line, this is your fight. Even in the longest night, there's a strength you now can see that was always meant to be. Stand your ground, don't be afraid. Even when your path has changed, there's a truth you can't deny. You were born to rise,
So keep standing, don't step back. Even on the narrow track, you are stronger than you feel, more resilient, more than real.
hold the line. Even when it feels impossible, you are still unstoppable here. Hold the line.
There are days you lose the feeling that everything will be okay, when the road ahead looks empty and the colors fade to gray. You try to hold on to a promise, but it slips between your hands, like a dream that once felt certain. Now you barely understand. Every step feels like a question, every breath a silent plea, looking for a clear direction in a place you cannot see. But even in the unseen distance, there's a truth that still remains. Not everything is meant for sight. Some things grow through faith and pain. Keep the faith, don't lose your way. Even in the darkest day, you don't need to see the end. Just believe and rise again. Hold on tight, don't let it go. You are stronger than you know. Every step you choose to take is a path your heart will make. You were never meant to know it all, every turn, every why. So my life is simply walking under an unseen sky. There's a strength in not knowing, there's a courage in the blind, choosing still to move forward, leaving doubt and fear behind. Even when your heart is breaking, even when your hope feels thin, there's a deeper kind of power still alive and growing within. When the answers never come and the silence feels too loud, there's a quiet voice inside you standing strong and unbowed. Keep the faith, don't lose your way. Even in the darkest day, you don't need to see the end. Just believe and rise again. Hold on tight, don't let it go. You are stronger than you know. Every step you choose to take is a path your heart will make. There are nights you feel forgotten, like your voice won't reach the sky, like your tears fall into nothing with no answer to your cry. But even in the deepest silence, even when no sound returns, there's a presence you can't measure, quiet fire that still burns. You are not alone in this, even when it feels that way. There is something walking with you every night and every day. So when your strength feels like it's gone and your courage starts to bend, there's a steady hand that holds you, bringing you through to the end. Keep the faith, stand up again. Even through the deepest pain, there's a light you cannot see, still guiding you to be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to understand every reason, every plan. All you need is just the courage to take the step you can. When the road is long and winding and your strength is running low, there's a deeper source within you that will help you keep the flow. Not inside, not in proof, but
There are times when everything feels fragile, like one more step could make it break. When the pressure keeps on rising, with every choice you try to make, you carry more than anyone notices. Silent battles, hidden scars, trying to stay strong on the surface, while inside it feels so hard. Every thought becomes a question, every feeling pulls you down, and you wonder if you're losing every time you turn around. But even in the middle of the chaos, there's a center that remains, a quiet place that won't be shaken even through the heaviest rain. Stand firm, don't step away. You were made for this very day. Even when the ground feels weak, there's a strength you still can keep. Hold your place, don't lose your ground. There's a truth that can be found. Every moment you endure is shaping something strong and pure. Yeah, you were never meant for easy, you were meant to rise to fire. Every challenge that you're facing is revealing something higher. There's a purpose in the pressure, even when it feels too much. It's not there to break your spirit, but to shape your inner touch. You may feel like you are failing, like you're falling far behind, but your story's still unfolding one step at a time. When the weight becomes too heavy and your strength begins to fall, there's a deeper force within you that can carry through it all. Stand firm, don't step away. You were made for this very day. Even when the ground feels weak, there's a strength you still can keep. Hold your place, don't lose your ground. There's a truth that can be found. Every moment you endure is shaping something strong and pure. There are nights that feel like forever, when the light is hard to find, when the silence feels so loud and it echoes in your mind. But even in the deepest darkness, there's a spark that still remains, a quiet, steady kind of power that outlasts the fear and pain. You are not your lowest moment, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after facing it all. So when your heart begins to tremble and your vision fades from view, there's a steady truth within you, still reminding what is true. Stand firm, hold on tight, even through the longest night. There's a light you cannot see, still guiding who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a strength you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to be unbreakable, you don't have to stand alone. Even in your weakest moment, there's a strength that's not your own. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fade, there's a quiet hand that holds you in every step you've made. Not always seen, not always known, but always present, always near. In every fall, in every rise, it's been with you through every fear. Let the pressure shape your purpose, let the struggle build your will. Every moment you keep standing is a moment you fulfill. You are not too weak to carry on, you are not too far to rise. Every second you keep holding is a step toward the light. Breathe slow, you're still standing here, hold on. There is nothing to fear, look up, there's light ahead right now. You're not at the end, stand firm, this is your time. Even in the hardest climb, there's a strength you now can see that was always meant to be. Hold your ground, don't be afraid. Even when your path has changed, there's a truth you can't deny. You were born to rise, so keep standing, don't give in. Heavy loss can still begin. You are stronger than you feel
There are moments when you feel surrounded, like every door has slowly closed. When the weight of all your questions feels heavier than what you chose. You try to find a way to breathe, but even air feels hard to take. And every step you try to move feels like it's yours to break. You wonder if the path is worth it, if the fight is yours to win, or if you've come this far for nothing and should just let it end. But even in the deepest valley, where your strength feels far away, there's a quiet voice within you, still refusing you to stay. Forward still, don't turn around, even when you're breaking down. You are stronger than this pain. You will rise again. Hold your ground, don't give in. This is where you begin. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. You were never meant to quit here, you were never meant to fall. Every struggle you are facing is not the end at all. There's a strength that grows in silence, there's a power in the fight. Even when you cannot see it, you are moving toward the light. Every moment you keep breathing, every time you choose to stand, is a sign that something deeper still is guiding your hand. When your heart begins to weaken and your thoughts begin to bend, there's a force that keeps on rising, telling you this is not the end. Forward still, don't turn around, even when you're breaking down. You are stronger than this pain. You will rise again. Hold your ground, don't give in. This is where you begin. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. There are nights you feel forgotten, like your voice has lost its sound, like the world keeps spinning onward while you're barely holding ground. But even in your weakest moment, even when you feel alone, there's a presence you can't measure that has always led you on. You are not your fear or failure, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after facing it all. So when your strength feels almost gone and your courage fades from sight, there's a steady truth within you still calling you to fight. Forward still, stand up again, even through the deepest pain. There's a strength you cannot see, still shaping who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to understand. All you need is just the courage to take the next small stand. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fade, there's a quiet hand that holds you in every step you've made. Not always seen, not always known, but always closer than you fear. In every fall and every rise, it has always been right here. Let the pain refine your spirit, let the fire shape your core. Every moment you keep going makes you stronger than before. You are not too far to turn around, you are not too lost to There are mornings when the weight returns before your feet touch solid ground. A quiet pressure in your chest, a storm that doesn't make a sound. You try to gather broken thoughts and piece together what feels right, but everything seems out of reach, like fading echoes in the night. You tell yourself just one more step, but even that feels hard to take. Like every move you try to make, a bend too far could almost break. But in the middle of the heaviness, there's something steady, something true. A quiet strength that doesn't leave, still holding on to you. Keep walking even when it's heavy, even when your steps feel slow. You don't have to run forever, just don't stop where you are now. Hold on even through the pressure, even when your strength feels thin. Every step you choose to take is a quiet, powerful win. You were never meant for easy, you were meant to grow through this. Every moment that you struggle, shaping something you can't miss. There's a fire beneath the surface, even when it's hard to feel. And the weight you're carrying now is forming something strong and real. You may not see the full direction, you may not know what comes next, but every step you keep on taking is progress, even in the stress. When your energy is fading and your thoughts begin to spin, there's a deeper kind of power still rising from within. Keep walking even when it's heavy, even when your steps feel slow. You don't have to run forever, just don't stop where you are now. Hold on even through the pressure, even when your strength feels thin. Every step you choose to take is a quiet, powerful win. There are days you feel unnoticed, like your effort disappears, like you're fighting silent battles no one sees, no one hears. But growth is often hidden in the places no one knows, where you keep on showing up, even when it never shows. You are not your tired moments, you are not your deepest doubt. You are every time you kept on going when you felt like stepping out. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your strength is wearing down, there's a steady force inside you that will not let you drown. Keep walking, don't give in, even when it feels you're thin. There's a strength you cannot see, still becoming who you'll be. Hold on, you're not alone, even when it feels unknown. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to rush your healing, you don't have to prove your worth. Every step in broken places still has meaning, still has birth. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fall, there's a quiet presence with you that is carried through it all. Not always seen, not always known, but always steady, always near. In every step and every breath, it's been guiding you right here. Let the pressure build your patience, let the struggle shape your will. Every moment you keep walking is a moment growing still. You are not too weak to continue, you are not too far to rise. Every second you keep moving is a step toward the light. Breathe slow, you're still standing here. Hold on, there is nothing to fear. Look up, there's light ahead right now. You're not at the end. Keep walking, this is your time. Even in the hardest climb, there's a strength you now can feel that was always true and real. Hold your ground, don't be afraid.
are days you feel the silence more than any spoken word, when the world keeps moving forward but your voice goes barely heard. You try to keep your balance steady, but the ground keeps shifting fast. Every moment feels uncertain, like you're running from your past. You hold together what is breaking with a strength you cannot show, smiling through the hidden pressure no one else will ever know. But even in the quiet struggle, when it feels like no one sees, there's a deeper kind of presence moving through your every breath. Unseen strength is holding you, even when you can't break through. You don't have to stand alone, there's a force that leads you on. Don't give in, don't let go, you are stronger than you know. Every step you choose to take is a path you're meant to make. You were never meant to carry every burden by yourself. Even when it feels like silence, there is help beyond yourself. Every tear you try to hide, every fear you locked away, has been seen in ways you don't know. Even when you couldn't say, there's a reason you keep breathing, there's a reason you still stand. Even in your weakest moments, there's a steady guiding hand. When your strength begins to fade and your hope feels paper thin, there's a quiet power rising from a place deep within. Unseen strength is holding you, even when you can't break through. You don't have to stand alone, there's a force that leads you on. Don't give in, don't let go, you are stronger than you know. Every step you choose to take is a path you're meant to make. There are nights you feel forgotten, like your prayers dissolve in air, like the silence answers nothing, and there's no one really there. But even in the deepest darkness, when the light is hard to find, there's a truth that still surrounds you, closer than your own mind. You are not the doubt that shakes you, you are not the fear you feel. You are something far beyond it, stronger, deeper, more than real. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your thoughts begin to fall, there's a steady truth within you, still holding through it all. Unseen strength, rise again, even through the deepest pain. There's a light you cannot see, still guiding you to be. Don't give up, don't step aside, there's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to prove your worth, you don't have to earn your place. Even in your weakest moment, you are held in unseen grace. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fade, there's a quiet presence with you in every step you've made. Not always seen, not always known, but always closer than your fear. In every fall, in every rise, it has always been right here. Let the silence build your strength, let the waiting shape your soul. Every moment you keep going is making something whole. You are not too far to reach, you are not too lost to find. Every second you keep moving is rewriting what's inside. Breathe in, you're still held.
There are moments when you feel the distance between the dream and where you are. Like every step you thought was progress didn't really take you far. You look around and question everything, the choices and the paths you've made, wondering if all the effort is slowly starting to fade. You try to find a clear direction, but the answers never stay, like shadows shifting in the dark that keep slipping away. But even in the doubt you carry, there's a truth you can't erase. You are still here, still breathing, still standing in this place. Still standing, don't lose heart. You haven't fallen apart. Every step you've made is real. Every scar is something you can feel. Don't give up, you've come too far. You are stronger than you are. Every moment you remain is a victory through the pain. You were never meant to rush this, you were never meant to know every turn along the journey or how fast you should go. There's a purpose in the waiting, even when it feels delayed. You are growing in the silence, in the choices you have made. Every time you choose to continue, even when it's hard to try, you are building something deeper that no one can deny. When your strength begins to falter and your vision starts to blur, there's a quiet voice within you, still reminding who you are. Still standing, don't lose heart. You haven't fallen apart. Every step you've made is real. Every scar is something you can feel. Don't give up, you've come too far. You are stronger than you are. Every moment you remain is a victory through the pain. Yeah. There are nights you feel the pressure, like the walls are closing in, like you're fighting unseen battles you don't know how to win. But even in your weakest moment, even when you feel alone, there's a strength that still surrounds you, that has always been your own. You are not your fear or failure, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after facing it all. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your strength begins to fade, there's a steady truth within you that will not let you break. Still standing, rise again, even through the deepest pain. There's a light you cannot see, still guiding who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to prove your worth, you don't have to win today. Every moment you keep trying is a step along the way. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fall, there's a quiet presence with you that is carried through it all. Not always seen, not always known, but always steady, always near. In every step and every breath, it has guided you right here. Let the struggle build your courage. Let the waiting shape your will. Every moment you keep standing is a moment growing still. You are not too far behind. You are not too late to rise. Every second you keep going is a step toward new light. Breathe slow, you're still here now. Hold on, you'll make it somehow. Look up,
victory begins. There are days when fear feels louder than every truth you've ever known. When the silence turns to pressure and you feel completely alone. You try to calm the racing thoughts, but they echo deep inside. Every worry grows a little stronger, every doubt you try to hide. You stand at the edge of uncertainty, looking where you've never been. Every step feels unfamiliar, like you don't know where to begin. But even in the rising tension, when your heart begins to race, there's a quiet, steady presence you can't see, but you can trace. Fear not, you are not alone. Even when it's all unknown, there's a strength that holds you near. Even in the deepest fear, stand your ground, don't run away. You are stronger than today. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. You were never meant to carry all the weight upon your own. Even when it feels like silence, there is more than being alone. Every tear you've ever hidden, every moment you held on, has been seen in ways you don't know. Even when you felt withdrawn, there's a reason you keep breathing, there's a reason you still stand. Even in your weakest moment, there's a steady guiding hand. When your strength begins to falter and your hope feels paper thin, there's a deeper kind of courage still rising from within. Fear not, you are not alone. Even when it's all unknown, there's a strength that holds you near. Even in the deepest fear, stand your ground, don't run away. You are stronger than today. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. There are nights that feel so endless, like the dark will never fade, like your voice is lost in silence and your courage starts to fade. But even in the deepest valley, even when the light is gone, there's a truth that still surrounds you, that has quietly held you on. You are not your fear of failure, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after facing it all. So when your heart feels overwhelmed and your strength begins to break, there's a steady force within you that will never let you shake. Fear not, rise again. Even through the deepest pain, there's a light you cannot see, still guiding who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to be fearless, you don't have to understand. All you need is just the courage to take the next small stand. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fall, there's a quiet presence with you that is carried through it all. Not always seen, not always known, but always closer than your fear. In every step, in every breath, it has always been right here. Let the fear become your teacher, let the doubt refine your way. Every moment you keep moving is a choice you make today. You are not too weak to continue, you are not too far to rise. Every second you keep walking is a step toward new feel exhausted before the journey even starts. Like the weight of all your worries has settled in your heart. You try to push through every feeling, pretend that you're okay, but the quiet voice inside you says you're tired in every way. You look ahead and see a distance that feels too far to go, and every step you try to take feels slower than before. But even in your weakest moment, when you feel like letting go, there's a strength you haven't seen yet, waiting deep below. Strong within, don't lose your way. Even on your hardest day, you don't have to run or hide. There's a power deep inside. Hold on tight, don't give in. This is where you rise within. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. You were never meant to have it all figured out from the start. Some of life is learning slowly how to trust your own heart. Every tear you've ever hid and every moment you held on is a sign of something stronger that has been there all along. You may not feel like you are ready, you may not feel complete, but growth begins in that very moment you stand back on your feet. When your thoughts begin to wander and your hope feels far away, there's a quiet truth inside you still guiding you to stay strong within. Don't lose your way. Even on your hardest day, you don't have to run or hide. There's a power deep inside. Hold on tight, don't give in. This is where you rise within. Every step you choose to take is a move no fear can break. There are nights you feel uncertain, like your path has disappeared, like the future you imagined is no longer anywhere near. But even in the shifting seasons, even when the road is unclear, there's a strength that keeps you standing. There's a reason you are here. You are not your fear of failure, you are not your deepest fall. You are every time you stood again after facing it all. So when your strength begins to fade and your courage feels undone, there's a deeper force within you saying you are not done. Strong within, rise again, even through the deepest pain. There's a light you cannot see, still shaping who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to understand. All you need is just the courage to take the next small stand. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fall, there's a quiet presence with you that has carried through it all. Not always seen, not always known, but always closer than your fear. In every step, in every breath, it has always been right here. Let the struggle build your spirit, let the pressure shape your will. Every moment you keep going is a moment growing still. You are not too weak to continue, you are not too far to rise. Every second you keep moving is a step toward new life. Breathe in, you're still here now. Hold on, you'll make it somehow. Look up, there's light ahead. Right now you're not at the end. Strong within, this is your time. Even in the hardest climb, there's a strength you now can feel that was always true and real. Stand your ground, don't be afraid. Even when your path has changed, there's a truth you can't deny. You were born to rise. So keep moving, don't look back. Even when the sky turns black, you are growing, you are strong. You have been it all along. Strong within, there's more in you than you know, and it's time to let it show. steps, telling you to question your heart. You try to stand in what you know, but everything begins to sway, and every choice you thought was right feels like it could drift away. You search for something solid, a place where you can stand, but all you feel is shifting ground, slipping through your hands. Yet even in the noise around you, there's a stillness you can find, a quiet strength that anchors you beyond the restless mind. Keep your ground, don't be moved. Even when you feel unproved, you don't have to have it all. Just stand firm and don't fall. Hold the line, don't give in. This is where you rise within. Every step you choose to stay is a victory you make. You were never meant to follow every fear that comes your way. You were meant to stand in truth, even when the skies turn gray. Every doubt that tries to shake you, every voice that pulls you down, is a chance to find your center, is a place to stand your ground. You may not feel like you are ready, you may not feel secure, but strength is not in perfect answers, it's in choosing to endure. When your heart begins to tremble and your thoughts begin to spin, there's a deeper kind of calm still living deep within. Keep your ground, don't be moved. Keep your ground, even when you feel improved. You don't have to have it all. Just stand firm and don't fall. Hold the line, don't give in. Don't give in. This is where you rise within. Rise within. Every step you choose to stay is a victory you make. There are nights you feel the pressure, like the walls are closing tight, like you're standing in the middle of a never-ending fight. But even in the tension, even when the air feels thin, there's a strength that keeps you standing. There's a fire deep within. You are not the doubt that shakes you, you are not the fear you feel, you are something far beyond it, unbreakable and real. So when your strength feels far away and your courage starts to fall, there's a steady truth inside you that will carry through it all. Keep your ground, stand up strong. You have had this all along. There's a light you cannot see, still guiding who you'll be. Don't give up, don't step aside. There's a truth you cannot hide. Every breath you choose to take is a stand you choose to make. You don't have to prove your worth, you don't have to win today. Every moment you keep standing is a step along the way. When the world feels overwhelming and your hope begins to fade, there's a quiet presence with you in every step. You may not always see, not always know, but always steady, always near. In every fall, in every rise, it has always been right here. Let the pressure build your focus, let the struggle shape your will. Every moment you keep standing is a moment growing still. You are not too weak to continue, you are not too far to rise. Every second you keep holding is a step toward the light. Breathe slow, you're still standing here. Hold on, there is nothing to fear. Look up, there's light ahead. Right now you're not at the end. Keep your ground, this is a time. Even in the hardest climb, there's a strength you now can feel that was always true and real. Stand your ground, don't be afraid. Even when your path has changed, there's a truth you can't deny. broken, you were made to stand unbroken.